Hi, folks, and welcome to another Saturday morning Samoflange. I'm Matt.
I'm Benjamin, and here we are again.
Time stories.
Time stories once again.
So, when last we left,
we thought we were done with this for a bit. Honestly.
Well, I said,
and everybody else listening to this episode is probably like, didn't I just hear this? Am I on the wrong episode?
Yeah.
You better make sure you number these appropriately because people are going to get tired of it. So we better have a dang good reason for recording this.
Yeah, and the thing is, we were shocked. The last two podcasts, we've been shocked on how the game changed.
Yes.
And I said at the end of the last one, I said, I don't know what will change next because I'm just not that smart to think about it. I said, but I'm interested to see. And what I honestly expected to see was a few little things change up. And at first we did. This is non-spoilers, by the way. I've rehearsed this a little bit.
You've practiced non-spoilering.
I practiced last night. I practiced this morning. I practiced this afternoon.
You've been prepping for this all day.
Because it's going to be
all
hard.
All day he's here for you, ladies and gentlemen.
This one's going to be hard.
This one will be difficult to non-spoilerize.
This is going to be hard. But, and I should mention, I appreciate the fandom of time stories.
That's one of the things I was going to talk about.
Go ahead.
No, that's just it. Is that I even looking it up, and if you type in directly, even if you were looking for the answers, even if you're on a forum post that says this is the answer, they still are cryptic and vague and hinty, like just enough that you can't quite gather what it's talking about, and maybe that's all you need. And they don't want to spoil anyone who's had the experiences we have had. If I were writing these posts, I would not want to spoil any of this feeling of excitement and joy and mystery that I've just gotten.
It's almost like, the game where they were blindfolded and you say, getting warmer, getting warmer. Right. That's about the only clue they can give you.
That's really it. And how many other things can you think of on the internet where people
There's
actually
no
restrain
one who
themselves?
Does it. There's always some jerk that spoils everything.
I can't think of anything similar to that. I mean, when I was very young, I got my very first computer, my Tandy 1000. One of the first games I ever had was King's Quest Part 4, The Perils of Rosella.
Great.
And they came with a hint book because it was so vast, and it was like 4 discs, huge and expansive, but it was very, very difficult and complicated in a lot of ways. In the very first page, Roberta Williams, who was the most incredible programmer, I'm so grateful for her and everything that she did, she puts in the first page of the hint book, not all of these are actual hints. And it was written in invisible ink, and you had to uncover them with a special marker that would highlight the answer for you, and otherwise it was just a blank piece of paper. And I remember having a little pen, and you would have to rub over it with the area that you wanted to reveal.
Shut up.
Yeah, so it was all the things like, how do I get past the king with the frog or whatever.
How smart is that?
And she wrote, some of these are actual hint questions. Others are completely fake and have nothing to do with anything in the game. So if you don't need the hint in this book, don't read it. Don't ruin the mystery for yourself beforehand. And you had to highlight only the ones that were relevant to your playthrough. And some of them, after I finished the game, I went back and I was like, I never saw that. And I was really curious. And then there was one that was one line question at the very top of the page. Mm-hmm. And then there were like 7 empty boxes that you could highlight and let it slowly reveal the answer for you.
Wow.
And it says, this is a fake question. There's nothing here to see. The very first box. Second box is, why are you still highlighting this? There's nothing here. I told you in the first box, there's nothing here. Third one, keeps ripping you because you're still highlighting stuff for a question that doesn't exist. So she had that sense of wonder because I've been trying to compare what on earth is like this? What else have I done? What else have I played? And honestly, the King's Quest series, and I was searching for a video game before. Remember we were talking about Zelda and puzzle games and how it's not like that? What I did figure out is that it's much more of older games. It has the feeling of King's Quest, which was a mystery in itself, but that's much more of a point and click. So now the thing I would compare it to the most is a more modern game. I don't know if you've ever played any of the Resident Evil series.
The first one a long time ago.
Yeah. So the Resident Evil series is much more of an action-based thing now. It keeps reinventing itself because that's why I thought it was like Time Stories, because every version of this seems to keep reinventing itself. And it's got a few simple mysteries in there, like you get a purple amethyst, and you're like, I don't know what this is. And then you come across And then you just wander around. You kill more zombies and you do whatever. And then you get a spot that has a very amethyst-shaped hole in the wall.
That you can use.
And then it just hits you like, oh, there it is. And we've had so many experiences like that with time stories that are not revealed. And I don't know of another group of people online that would let you have that joy.
No.
I can't think of anything that lets you do that.
There's another new icon that that was in this one that you have to. So one member of the board has to go there.
So this is the mask we're talking about, right?
Under the Mask.
Under the Mask, which is
third expansion.
The third expansion. So we're gonna just call it number 4.
Oh, number 4
it's
total.
The fourth one.
Fourth adventure.
It's too hard. It's the 4th adventure. Let's do that.
Yeah, that's fine. 4th adventure Under the Mask.
Which is
and
ancient Egypt.
Again, not ruining it because that's on the back of the cover, Ancient Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're going back. And again, no spoilers. This is what you learn in the setup. That you're just trying to find.
We won't spoil it.
You're just trying to find it.
You're just reaffirming it to yourself.
No, you're not doing it. No, I've already made sure of this. But so the new thing is switching receptacles, which is just bodies you inhabit. Now this has never been done before.
As the time cops, right?
Yeah, usually you pick it at the beginning, and that's what you do.
You pick a character. You pick a receptacle at first. Stick with it the whole time.
Yeah, and here they say, hey, you'll probably be wanting to do this a few times. You're probably wanting to body jump while you're in the past.
Vague instructions on it.
Which, honestly, why they didn't own the rights to Quantum Leap and make it the game called Quantum... If this game was called Quantum Leap, are you kidding me?
I would believe it.
I'd love it.
Yeah,
I'd love it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
Your Dr. Sam Beckham or whatever his name was. I can't remember,
Beckett.
but Beckett.
Is
yeah.
right?
That sounds right.
I don't know. It might be a different
universe altogether. Ziggy,
Yes.
Sam and Ziggy just hitting the butt. Honestly, that's kind of what this is in a way. Quantum Leap. You're going back and righting the wrongs of the past.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
So Quantum Leap, the board game.
Only we're not trying to get home. We're just being.
No, we're not trying to get home.
Shoved into other missions.
No, we're not trying to get home. But we find
we are. I don't know. Maybe
we find our way home more than one occasion.
Right, oh boy.
But the thing is, you get to Quantum Leap into these people, and this is different because you can only do it X amount of times. And the thing is, obviously, there are more bodies you can leap into than X amount of times.
Of course.
So trial and error is what you're doing here.
And we started out with a lot less health and defense this time around. So
we wondered about that.
We were wondering, I think we're going to...
So we're going to die a lot. We're going to have to jump. And some characters are stronger in certain aspects than others.
Right. They're all pretty wimpy compared to some of the ones.
Yeah, so it's always good to jump from your next one. Now, some of them aren't as good, but you need them for certain reasons.
Right.
And the thing is, it's almost like a square dance where you grab your parts, do-si-do, then grab the next partner's hand, then grab their hand, sashay down the middle. You've switched partners so many times in the square dance, you forgot who you were with.
Good analogy.
But there's an order that you have to follow to do this, to unlock this, to do this. If you don't do it,
dancing.
Well, in this game, there's an order you have to follow. You have to figure it out. Now, again, trial and error is how you're going to do this. The game only allows you a certain amount of times, which is one less than what's usual, which I thought was odd.
And didn't it introduce that mechanic right at the very beginning of the scenario?
No. That's what he tells us at the very beginning.
Yeah.
In the bay, the setup.
And then very shortly after you get into the thing, you're like, here it is.
That's your presented with.
Yeah.
So, do you trust me?
Did it come up?
No.
Oh.
Did we have a do you trust me? Or would you count the first ask about a quantum leap a do you trust me?
I don't know. I felt like it was lacking that time. It was the one thing that we
didn't get. I don't feel it was there. It doesn't have to be there.
I mean,
because remember we made the joke. Okay, where's the do you trust me card?
Mm-hmm. We were looking for it.
And the do you trust me card, we kept wondering, which is this it? Is this it? Is this it? I don't know if it was particularly there. You could argue that it was. Someone could argue that it was. However, like I said, it's a different dance now.
You're right.
And again
somehow
I'm gonna be there. There was another. If you move to this area, you must roll this die. If you roll these particular numbers, 2/3 of the die, you're gonna have to get what we did in the previous expansion.
Right.
And we always rolled perfectly.
Oh yeah, we did.
We did it again.
Still haven't done it.
I feel like people are gonna call us liars, but I swear to you, we all took turns.
We've been through
And it's
each one, and we never did.
We've never
had a random thing happen like that. The wrong dice.
It's gonna happen,
of course, and it's gonna happen over and over probably. As karma's gonna catch up to us.
But that it hasn't happened, I was shocked. Now we were very careful though. We didn't waste, willy nilly. We made our moves with a lot of thought involved.
Yes.
So a lot of deliberation.
We're also riding high from our victory last time. At this, we were the kings of time stories at this point.
A one shot, one goal.
Thing through.
And admittedly, dumbest luck in the world.
Yes,
absolutely. Dumbest luck in the world.
Not a whole lot of logic and skill involved.
No, I would say that was all luck of the roll. Look at the guessing. What we did. I mean, about it,
there were some educated guesses in that.
We were Jar Jar Binks out on that battlefield.
We were Jar Jar. Yeah,
we were Jar Jar Binks.
We were.
We dropped those energy boom boom balls, ran for cover, and they just took out an entire army while we were still running for cover.
You are right, yes.
But, I mean, there was some skill, but we were pumped. So, Top Gun, Maverick, and Goose make it through, it's almost like we hit the death flower on the first one and just, wiped out the whole...
But, I mean, we were coming in thinking we know how to play this game. And I feel like my feet got tripped up underneath me right away.
And that's the thing. I was going to tell you, I haven't told you this yet. They've known we've played this game 3 times.
Oh, yeah. Some more psychology coming in.
I'm telling you.
They know how to play this game.
Because I called you, we left that night. We left that night. I called you.
This morning.
Just a few minutes. No, that night. A few minutes later.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, you gotten home. And I said, and this is, I do not believe this is a spoiler to tell how our gameplay ended. Not the results, but just what happened. We failed.
Oh yeah, well we failed.
We failed this one.
Yeah. After our perfect winning streak.
And it is my opinion. This was the Kobayashi maneuver. And I talked to you about this.
Yeah, you did.
And it could be argued that I am correct.
It could be.
Now, this is we're tiptoeing on eggshells here, okay?
Is that on?
For spoilers, okay?
Yeah.
Tiptoeing for spoilers here. So I've worded this as best I could, and I graded it with someone just prior to getting on the podcast.
Let's see what you've concocted.
What I've concocted is the last a mission fail card, basic, and we revealed this in the first ever review we did. If you fail it, don't worry. It just says, hey, just run through it till you get it right. And that's what all the mission fail cards finally do this. Okay, you know what? You didn't win. Y'all go play with it. We'll have a team do it, but y'all go play through it, right?
Right.
This one, oh, by the way, before back away, the big puzzle, there's a little thematic theme that was kind of neat that we have to, a little bit of role play.
Oh, yes.
If you recall.
I do, yes.
Which is, because we had to, I think we had to read this twice or 3 times to figure out, wait a minute, is this what they want us to do? And to be honest, it is very thematic, and I've never seen it done before. It works. It's role play, but it works.
Okay, well, now you've got me on pins and needles about your concoction.
Okay, so my concoction is, this mission failed is different. It reads differently. And I remember after reading it, I went, well, that's dumb. Because there's the big what's going on, the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
And they give you the answer on how to solve it.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
No.
Yes, they do. They tell you verbatim what you need to do. And I was thinking, because I remember I looked at both of y'all and went, well, that's stupid. Why did he do that?
Yeah.
Why can't...
I remember that.
All the other mission fails, and I went back and looked at it. All of them say, keep going over and over again. Maybe you'll figure it out. This time, it was like, hey, here's how you figure this out. I was like, whoa, what are you? You're not part of the internet community. You're spoiling your own game here. So, all I want to say is this.
Yes.
We decided to pass up because we had another one. But you should play through it. I think the game wants you to fail. What do you think about that?
I,
It's hard to talk about without spoilers, I know.
I don't know if it wants you to.
Is there, I mean, besides being incredibly dumb lucky, which I admit, you can win that game dumb lucky like we have in the past.
But I don't know if it's as much of a Kobayashi Maru unwinnable situation as you may believe. I don't know if I'm in camp with you on that entirely.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, I'm sure there's other people who, if they play this game, they may say no either. But again, not wanting to solve any, but there's just no earthly way you could figure out the end game unless they told you how to.
Are we limiting the topic of this podcast to this expansion?
No, well, this one, yeah.
We'll
talk about that Under the Mask. Yeah, we're just talking about Under the Mask today. So, but you need to play through it. So,
yeah.
But the thing is, though, we didn't know that because every other one has read the exact same. And I do remember my words are saying that's dumb.
The mission mechanics have read the exact same. Like the way the mission begins with the time capsules that we get, with the receptacles we get put into. We had new mechanics in this one. And then the end, the setup, and the after action reports are all similar. Have all been similar, but consistently similar, because you come back and mission failed or succeeded.
But after we've always done something fun. After we succeed in the mission, he kind of cuts you down if you fail. So we always like to read the failed card. Here you cut him down. So let's see what happened when it failed.
And I love that it's the same recurring characters.
And it's the same recurring characters. It's a different cut down in a way. Dressed down. It's a dressed down by your superior. And it's like, okay, we'll play through it over and over again more until you get it right. And this one was different.
It was.
And I thought it was a mistake. I thought they were like, well, how would you know that? What are they doing? I think we mailed it in. In fact, one other member of ours said this was his least favorite.
Yes.
Because it did look like for a little bit it didn't put as much effort in. Later on, we would find out that this is probably the most amazing expansion.
That's where I was going to go. And
so
how do you do it without being spoilery? You don't. So
you can't.
It ultimately comes down to that. The crux of Time Stories being what it is going against what you expect it to be. And even this one took a new leap and went to a whole nother meta level of not expecting what you expected it to be. Because even as we were playing it, and even after we finished it, we didn't know what we had just experienced.
No,
and it wasn't until afterward that it hit us what had happened. And
we had to go back.
We went back, and I was flipping tables. I said
went down the hallway. I went down the hallway.
I went up and down the hallway.
You went to the kitchen.
Trying to be quiet. I went into the kitchen.
We were not quiet, Megan.
I was not quiet. I apologize for that.
That's okay, because then I explained the whole thing to her. Because she wanted to hear it at 1:30 in the morning, I'm very sure. But I'll be honest.
I lost it.
I've
lost it.
There is no game in my entire life I've ever played that has done what this game has.
No, and that's what I was just about to say. Is that it was my least favorite and my most favorite at the same time somehow.
Because the thing is,
how many things can you possibly say that about? Like, that's just crazy. That's crazy. How is it my least and
so
most
many
favorite?
people, and think about it, they're thinking, you know what? We've reached a bar that's getting incredibly high. So what do?
We had set the bar too.
We pooch the kick.
Yeah.
We have them look on us in disappointment.
Whole new thing.
Look on us in disappointment, disgust. Like, man, these people really dropped the ball on this one.
And
then
hammer drop.
You realize what the end game is. How dare you underestimate us? Is basically what it was.
That's really what it was.
You know what? We'll give you what you're expecting. You're expecting a drop in quality after so long. I really think they did that.
Then let's give it to them.
Then let's give it to them.
Wow.
We don't have this high bar to meet. Let's give it to them, and let's show them that, oh, wait, are you disappointed? Okay, how about this?
Right.
And suddenly, David Copperfield shows you you've been sitting in a room with an elephant the whole time.
Right.
I'm not even over exaggerating this.
No, and that elephant's named George, and he's been there the entire.
And he's been right next to you.
Right.
And here's the thing: You could smell George the whole time. You just thought it was someone else.
Like, man, what is that smell?
You could hear George the entire time. You just thought, that's weird. Your AC acting up?
Yeah. And David Copperfield.
George
AKA,
even bumped against your seat a few times, and you thought, what's wrong with the floor? It's a little unsteady.
Yeah. And Time Stories just did it again.
It's hitting you in the head. And then when David Copperfield goes, oh, yeah, turn around. That's an elephant you've been talking to this entire time. And you kind of look. And just like the magic shows, the card tricks, the people who just scream and go crazy, that's exactly what happened in the house.
That was my reaction. I said that if we had been playing this game at my house, all of the furniture in this room would be broken right now. Because I would have flipped over everything, losing my mind with excitement. And how mind blown I was with that, and how we fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, and you fell for it because I said verbatim. I said, "Well, that's stupid."
Oh, yeah, you did.
They gave us the clue.
And as you
why
were saying
would they
this,
do that?
you
What's
packed
the
up
point?
the game.
I even said, "What's the point?" Because we know how to solve the problem.
Here's George. There's your point. Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Nick said, "Yeah, this is probably my least favorite." But we all agree we had fun, but it's definitely a step down. And then later on, we realize,
wait a minute.
You mean this gate key? It's just like a totally different experience. And you're like, the thing is, here's the thing. You thought the MCU had continuity.
Oh my word.
You like the little connections they have. Okay.
Right, little 5-minute tags after
imagine
the end of every
this.
movie. Yeah.
Someone called their shot over a year ago.
Yeah.
And to the date, to the moment it happened. Now, on top of them, writing down, like someone wrote in an envelope, said, this is exactly what will happen on such and such a date at such and such a time. Now, and then hang this envelope in your room for a whole year, open on that date. Exactly.
Like Back to the Future Part 2.
What happens? Yeah.
Somebody goes to FedEx.
Yes.
I want you to deliver this letter at this exact moment.
Time. Yeah.
In this place.
Yes. And exactly what happens.
1885.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's.
Do you think that moment in Back to the Future was part of the creative inspiration for this?
I don't know. That's smart that you say that now. Because the game is hiding something from you in plain sight.
Yes.
And it's been doing it since the beginning.
Yes.
That's my non-spoiler right there.
That's all we can say.
And
that has to stop.
I know.
That's
but
wild.
the thing is, we now that the mask is off and the big reveal happened, then you look and go, I can't believe it. It was there the whole time.
Right.
The elephant was there, and we smelled it. We felt it. We heard it.
Yeah.
Yet we didn't say, is there an elephant in this room? No, because we didn't even bother to look in the most obvious place.
And I don't think that's the design. I mean, that is the design.
I believe fantastic. My exact words were "shut up" again.
No, you were shut.
Yeah.
Huge pause.
Yeah.
2 years later.
Up. Yeah. I can tell you. It was a year and a half later.
Big drop.
It was a big one. I could not believe.
I thought about that earlier. I don't know when "shut up" became like a really popular. I don't know what movie popularized that saying when people get excited. Shut up. Yeah. But you mastered it and dropped its perfection on us last night.
What was your reaction? What was your? Did you have a word for it, or did you just get up and start screaming?
I just told you I flipped tables.
Because after that, I got up and walked down. I walked away. I couldn't believe it.
Emotion in my brain was flooded. It was flooded. I could not think about anything else. I was overwhelmed and flooded with emotion, and had to walk up and down the hall into your kitchen, wake up your wife, everything else. Like I was wild. It was insane. Yeah. I loved it. And
I want to say this. I got a used version of the game, and bless the guy.
That's true.
Bless the guy.
We did say this.
Thank you. We did. Yeah. The guy who sold it to me, he reset things.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
So that there would be no spoilers. He didn't have to do that.
No.
In fact, to be honest, I think about it, because it's almost like one play, you're done. Would I have done that? No, probably I just would have left it, because what's done is done,
sure,
right?
You're selling it.
But you're selling it, so you don't care
No.
really what gets packed and what's not. But he's packed everything exactly how it came.
It makes me feel like he's contributed to some of those forums that I was talking about earlier.
He's part of the club, I bet. He is. He's got to be. Because the unwritten rule is once you pass it down,
No.
the first rule about Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club.
Why we're so adamant about the no spoiler rule on these.
No, we are.
It's not that we're just
it's a brotherhood.
Obtuse about it. It really makes you feel like there's a brotherhood happening.
There's a secret Dakota ring we all wear now. We all have jackets.
There is a brotherhood.
Yeah. Oh man, yes. Oh, it's great.
Of time.
Of time.
Man. Yes.
But
I feel like I'm in the Time Cop Club.
But honestly,
now.
a big thank you to this guy.
Yes,
He's probably not even listening, but a big thank you to this guy because
thank you to everyone who has played this and doesn't ruin it.
Yeah, it doesn't ruin it.
That I didn't get robbed of that moment. It was wonderful.
It's easy to get these cards and their decks mixed up.
I could see that, yeah.
It's easy.
That's a lot of stuff.
This is more for the next podcast because there's something else that he did that I really appreciated.
Okay.
That was in it, and I was thinking, are we missing something? And then no, it was in the right deck.
Oh, good.
That I wasn't shown. But so that he's done that and taken the time to reset the game for anyone else wanting to play, that's good. I mean, and this was the thing is, this is one that he obviously could have forgotten about and just kind of left as is, and we would have gotten a better idea of what was going on the whole time, or at least had some kind of clue, hanging on to. But he did everything. He reset everything exactly as it was the first time you're playing through. And if you bought the game new, you're really going to just blow up. You're going to blow up and hit the heavens. But I'm just saying this. Okay, so the lesson learned, today's lesson. This is like it's like an episode of G.I. Joe. We learn something at the end of every episode, or Fat Albert episode. There's some lesson to be learned. Yeah. And the lesson to be learned here is Time Story says, how don't you think, because everyone's waiting, do you agree with this? At this point, this is fourth adventure, everyone's waiting for the other shoe to drop, meaning like, they don't get any good now. They kind of lost their game. People are almost expecting them to lose their game now, or how can they one up?
Well, we've just been so abnormally surprised so consistently, and last time I said they were batting 1,000, and I'm like, could they possibly go 8 for 8 and keep this running? Because I just can't see.
That's what we said. We couldn't fathom them doing that.
I cannot fathom. I don't know of anything else, and there's no movie franchise. There's not really a book series.
No, there's nothing driving this either. This is their own creative imagination that keeps driving it from one adventure to the next.
I mean, maybe Harry Potter books, like, all are wonderful in their own way, but even then, it's different. It's a different thing. But how many things hit 8 for 8, right?
Yeah, but did the Goblet of Fire just tell you, go back and read book 1 because there's a chapter you keep skipping? I mean, that's
just... You know what? You make a good point.
I mean,
it did not. Maybe it did, actually, because she did tie some stuff in from the beginning.
Tie some stuff in, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's like, you read that book how many times? Okay, you skip this chapter.
Yeah,
I did.
You missed this elephant that in book 1 I've been talking about this entire time.
That's what I'm talking about. And so... Again, it just says we know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. To me, that game said you thought we had lost our game, so we're going to sit you down and say, I still got it. Don't worry. It's almost what it told me. It's like, you're in good hands. We've got this thought out. I'm at this point, I'm guaranteed. I don't know how many of these they had set out. That we may be sitting on all of them. Okay,
maybe
we may be sitting on all of them. They wrote them all out.
I agree with you now. After this point,
at this point, it's obvious. I mean,
at least the outline had been conceived of.
I would even say more.
To finish.
Yeah, I would almost say I would believe more than an outline. I honestly thought he said if it goes this far, it goes this far. We'll do this and that. It's very planned out, folks.
Which was something that I had brought up the other day. Is like, I mean, when you're securing the funding for a board game, and you know you're going to put out expansion packs, but then the story that you're conceiving of is going to take that long to tell. And so you did they have all of the funding to do this many expansions at the beginning, or did they just
they got the green light for a few
spray and pray and say maybe we'll be able to finish this story one day? And
And thankfully it caught on.
It's not like a TV series gets canceled and then you have to rush to close up every loose end in one episode or two because this is it, we're getting canceled and we've got to try to close these things. And you so many good TV shows we've talked about on this podcast that don't get a chance to give tribute to their characters because, but they've still got a few minutes. But a board game, you're like, well, we couldn't get the funding, so it's just going to hang out there and never end, or, like Firefly or something and just kind of be end. This was amazing. It made me think about the production from the very beginning and how much all of this was planned out, and that's so fascinating and incredible. And hats off, because it got us good. And I am so thrilled with it. So thrilled with it.
And we'll talk. And this seriously is a part 2 podcast, because we'll stop here because the other stuff I want to talk about in the second one, which brought us back to this one.
Yeah, here we go again. Sorry, everybody.
On Saturday
morning.
Samoflange.
Da-da-da-da.